Coming up on Hashtag That.
We're back with the latest Hollywood news updates.
All that and more from Hamden to Hollywood, we're your source for Quinnipiac entertainment news.
From Hamden to Hollywood,
we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Welcome back to Hashtag That. I'm Grace Doyle.
And I'm Jess BRIJ-RAJ. Let's dive into some new Hollywood scoop.
The nominees for the 2022 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame have been announced. The lineup is diverse in its class, which includes country legend Dolly Parton, alternative rock star Beck, and new wave staple Duran Duran. Artists are eligible for induction 25 years after the release of their first commercial recording. First-time nominees include those previously mentioned, as well as Eminem, A Tribe Called Quest, Carly Simon, and Lionel Richie. Voting will take place over a period of months in which over 1,000 music professionals will review the candidates' bodies of work, as well as their overall influence on the industry as a whole. Inductees will be announced in May, with a ceremony planned sometime next fall. In other news, the Winter Olympics have begun. The Games will be held through February 20th, with festivities occurring primarily in Beijing. Some events to look out for are figure skating, snowboarding, hockey, and the various skiing competitions. These Olympic Games also feature 7 new sports, including men's and women's big air freestyle skiing and women's monobob. There are also mixed team events such as aerials and short track relay. The 2022 Olympic Games can be streamed on Peacock as well as USA, NBC, and CNBC. Additionally, viewers can stream the games on NBCOlympics.com and the NBC Sports app.
Rihanna announced via Twitter and Instagram that she will be having her first baby with A$AP Rocky. The fashion icon posted 4 pictures showing off her bump, with her man captioning the photos with, quote, "How the gang pulled up to Black History Month," end quote. Many fans speculated that the 33-year-old was pregnant after months of wearing baggy clothing. It is unknown how long the singer has been pregnant for, but a source told US Weekly that the baby is due in the spring. After dating for a year, the gang is happy to add a new addition to the family. Now let's talk about reality TV. The Kardashians recently dropped a teaser for their new show called The Kardashians on Hulu. The new series is speculated to air in the spring. Their previous show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, aired for 14 years on E! Fans are wondering if they will see more of Kourtney and Travis Baker's love life, as well as the new romance between Kim and Pete Davidson. Looks like we'll have to wait and see until the spring.
The Fallout is an original movie documenting a high school student's emotional journey following a school tragedy. Here's Emily and Julia with their thoughts about it.
Hey, Hashtag! I'm Julia Schnarr.
And I'm Emily McManaman, and today we're going to be discussing HBO's new hit original, The Fallout, starring Jenna Ortega and Maddie Ziegler.
So this film is about a high school girl who encounters a really traumatic experience and through it tries to navigate her friendships, substances, and overall mental health.
Yeah, and we see a lot of familiar faces in this film, like Jenna Ortega, former Disney star, former Dance Mom star Maddie Ziegler, and popular actress Shailene Woodley, who is famous for her Divergent series.
I love Divergent.
Me too. For Maddie Ziegler, this is arguably a breakout film for her. It really showcased her acting style and skills for once. Although Maddie plays the typical teenager in this film, she manages to capture the awkwardness of meeting new people and building relationships as a teenager.
So this film, especially in the screenplay, is very realistic. I feel like the writers really captured what it feels like to live as a teenager in this generation, especially for young women. The main character, Veda, struggles with depression, anxiety, and finding herself overall throughout the film, and I feel like they captured it especially well with her character.
The relationships in this film were cultivated so well because of the pacing of the storyline and the dialogue between the two main characters.
The film starts out with Veda's character being mostly happy and joyous and excited about her life in school, and then slowly turns a point where she washes away a lot of her emotion and delves into this kind of dark space, and it's very sad to see, but that's where the story comes in.
Because Veda's character is not the only one struggling with depression and anxiety, she really forms some special and unique bonds with other characters in the film, especially Maddie Ziegler's character, Mia.
In this film, Veda's mom brings her to a therapist, and this is where Shailene Woodley comes in, and it's kind of funny to see Tris as a therapist, you know, from Divergent, because Tris was so big and bold in her other movies that it was definitely a change of scenery for her.
One scene in particular that stood out to me was when Veda and Mia were just hanging out in Mia's house, and there's a shot of Veda sitting on the couch just on her phone scrolling or whatever, and Mia's in the background making a TikTok. And although it doesn't seem like such a significant scene, I believe it really paints a realistic picture of how teenagers or people our age hang out sometimes. You know, if we just have nothing to talk about, we could still be with each other and enjoy each other's company while doing separate tasks and just, you know, live comfortably with each other. That's all we have for you guys today.
If you haven't seen The Fallout yet, make sure to check it out on HBO Max.
We'll see you next time.
Bye!
Stay tuned. We will be right back after a short commercial break.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Welcome back. Let's jump right into a report about the CBS original, The Amazing Race. Here's Q30's very own Ben and Audrey with their take on the show.
Howdy,
hashtag. It's Audrey.
And Ben.
And today we're going to be talking about the season of The Amazing Race thus far. So this season has been a little bit different, and that's because they started pre-COVID and then resumed 18 months later, 19 months later?
I think it was 19 months, yeah.
19 months later, and pretty much restarted the game, the race, and even brought back some teams that were eliminated before COVID. Teams that are doing fine and dandy. Kim and Penn of the Holderness family, which I know is one of your favorite teams.
I know, we watched them on YouTube the other day, and they do these like lip sync voiceover videos where I think the dad writes all the songs, but he does like Disney parodies, and then he gets his kids involved, and his wife's also helping him. Very wholesome content.
Yes, it's cute family YouTube videos, and they're definitely stars of the season.
Yeah, I would say
along
so.
with Dusty and Ryan, who are also, they're just powerhouses.
Yeah.
They were powerhouses before COVID, and then they came back from the break and kind of did a reevaluation of all the teams and said like that they like really trained.
Yeah, they said they went to the, I think it was the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah. And
they trained like climbing and working out, but apart from those teams, who's your favorite team this season?
I really like Raquel and Kayla.
Okay.
They're two flight attendants, and they're an all-female team, and I really want them to win, just because an all-female team hasn't won, hasn't won Amazing Race in a while, and I just think that would be really cool. Who's your faves?
I like Kim and Penn, but I really like Arun and Natalia. I think their dynamic is fantastic.
Yeah.
And the dad is just does not quit. Like, he does all the physical challenges, which is really cool. And they have a really good vibe together. Like, every time it's like, if we get voted off, it's okay.
They communicate very well.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
There's just 5 episodes left of The Amazing Race. That means there's still time for you guys to watch, so tune in next week on CBS, and we'll send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Ben and Audrey. Up next is Haley, filling us in on some trending topics. What do you have for us, Haley?
Well, hello, hashtag. I'm Haley Wynn, and I'm giving you all the details you need to know on this week's trending topics. Has your social media been filled with green and yellow squares? That's thanks to the new game Wordle. Game has become so popular that even celebrities are playing. Recently, Jimmy Fallon featured it on his show. The game is getting so much talk that the New York Times wanted in on it. They bought the game in a 7-figure deal last week. This game has people going crazy using their creative minds to guess the word. Players must guess a word in under 6 tries. The pressure is on. Will you conquer today's Wordle word? Okay, moving on, we have the apple juice debate. Are we canceling or praising apple juice? Many memes have surfaced and people are getting vocal on their take on apple juice. The debate heated up when Twitter user Farisi Lena tweeted on Thursday, quote, "Gorgeous, gorgeous girls prefer apple juice," end quote. The tweet already has 2,000 likes and is still generating responses. Many have attacked apple juice drinkers, claiming orange juice is superior. Personally, I am team orange juice, but I'd love to hear what the rest of our hashtaggers think about this debate. In other news, we have Kanye and Kim. Kanye is going off about his ex Kim on multiple social media platforms. So what is Kanye saying? Well, he has accused Kim of lying about putting a hit on her, and he exposed personal text messages requesting Kim's new number. Twitter user Kira Won't Miss wrote, quote, "Kim and Kanye, please keep it to your DMs," end quote. Let's see if Kanye mentions Kim in his upcoming album Donda 2. That's it for me today. Grace and Jess, back to you.
Thanks, Haley. With The Bachelor's 26th season on the rise, our hashtagger Manny has a lot to unpack for us. Manny, take it away.
Hey hashtag, it's Manny, and I'm here this week with a mid-season Bachelor breakdown. There was a lot of drama going on last episode, so let's get right into this. We have a lot to talk about. The episode started out with a continuation of Shrimpgate, as Bachelor fans are calling it, and Shanae was trying to say that Elizabeth was offered shrimp but refused to take it and ignored her, and this means that Elizabeth's a liar. So it came down to Shanae or Elizabeth with only one rose left, and everyone was waiting to see what decision Clayton was going to make. Unfortunately, Elizabeth was sent home. He believed Shanae that Elizabeth was lying and being manipulative, and Bachelor Nation was pretty upset. Elizabeth has ADHD, and she's been very public about the way that it manifests in her body and the way that she's unable to sometimes focus on several conversations at once. So Shanae was bullying Elizabeth on behalf of a diagnosed mental condition. So Clayton received a lot of backlash on social media about this and actually issued a statement of apology. That was a continuation of the previous episode with the rose ceremony. So that started out, the ladies found out that they were going to Houston and they were gonna finally be leaving the mansion. So they were all super psyched, and they got there, and Rachel was given the first one-on-one date. It looked super fun. They went walking around, they went to a little barbecue, and they honestly had a really great time. It seemed like a very genuine date and a very genuine connection that the two of them have, and I wouldn't be shocked to see if she goes pretty far in this. Rachel receives a rose after her date, and then we are on to the group date. So the ladies were taken to the stadium that the Texans play in to do a little bit of football scrimmage, and there was the purple team versus the blue team, the purple team having an Olympian on it and the blue team having Shanae on it. So they play their game, the blue team ends up losing, and they were not invited to the cocktail party afterwards. So even though her team lost, Shanae decides to crash the group date. She overheard them talking about how they all want to get together and tell Clayton that she's not wife material and that she's not the kind of person that he wants to marry. So she crashes the group date to tell him this. And instead of being like, "Hey, Shanae, go home, you lost," he decides that he's gonna make out with her and that she deserves to stay and she deserves to be heard. And then he sends her back out onto the group date where the rest of the girls are waiting to talk to him, and she just loses it on everybody. And that's where the episode ends. So I'm left on a cliffhanger again. I am so excited to keep watching. I'm thinking Shanae only has maybe one more episode in her before Clayton finally gets enough of her. Well, that is all I have time for tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys back at the desk.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Jules, spot on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Welcome back. Haley is in the studio with us to discuss this week's Hollywood news update. What do you have for us, Haley?
I'm excited to be bringing you the latest news from Hollywood. Live music is coming back after a long drought, and the latest performer to announce their return to touring is the music superstar Halsey. She announced her Love and Power tour last Monday, tweeting, quote, "It's been far too long, and I could not be more excited to see you all," end quote. This will be the first time Halsey has performed live since her Manic tour was canceled in 2020, halfway through its run, due to the threat of COVID-19 and the birth of her first child, Ender. Currently, the tour is only scheduled for the US, likely due to the fact that her previous tour ended before she was able to perform in the States, and is currently slated for May, June, and July of this year. I, for one, am incredibly excited for her to get back to live music, and I've already bought my tickets. What about you guys? Are you excited for the resurgence of live music?
I don't know about you, Grace, but I'm very excited for the revival of live music. I love Halsey. She is one of my favorite artists, and I love all of her songs and just her clothing. I can't wait to see what kind of hair she's going to have. What do you think?
I completely agree. Live music is pretty much my life. So a few years ago when it all, kind of shut down, I definitely missed it. So I'm so excited that it's back. And I do respect Halsey so much. And I know she's been through a lot in the past few years, so she deserves the best tour that she could possibly have. What do you think, Haley?
So I actually saw Halsey the last time she went on tour back in 2017. So I am super excited to finally be able to see her again. She's been my top Spotify artist for the past 5 years straight, so I could not be more excited. We have talked a lot about reality TV tonight, but we haven't touched on the most star-studded show of the season. Celebrity Big Brother began its 3rd season on Wednesday, and the cast is full of some big personalities. Olympic figure skater Mirai Nagasu, choreographer and singer Todrick Hall, UFC fighter Misha Tate, TV personality Carson Kressley, and NBA player Lamar Odom are just a few of the people who will be living in the Big Brother house together for 21 days, competing for $250,000. With a cast full of pro athletes, real housewives, and even a member of NSYNC, this season is sure to be an interesting one. Who are you guys excited to watch in the house? Who do you think could win the season?
So I never watched this show in my life before, but hearing that an NSYNC member is going to be a part of this show, I'm definitely rooting for him. What do you think?
Yeah, I also haven't watched Big Brother, but honestly, I love Todrick Hall, and I feel like he could definitely be a top contender at least. But it does seem like they do have a pretty stacked cast. Haley, what are your thoughts?
I am a huge Big Brother fan, and it's been so much fun watching Lamar actually adjust to being in the house. He has no idea what is going on at any time, and it's absolutely hilarious to watch him try and figure out the rules of the game in real time. But for the person I think who's going to win, I am rooting for Carson Kressley. I'm a big RuPaul's Drag Race fan, and he is hilarious as a judge on there, so I think his personality can take him all the way to the end. Our last story for the night, some people have said that 2022 is going to be the sequel to 2020, and so far the parallels are easy to draw. One example is the reemergence of the flagship show of quarantine, Tiger King. Peacock recently announced their newest original series, Joe vs. Carol, based on the rivalry between the infamous Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin. Joe Exotic will be played by newcomer John Cameron Mitchell, and Carol Baskin will be played by the hilarious SNL star Kate McKinnon. The limited series is slated to release on March 3rd and will follow the criminal case of Exotic as he is being convicted for a murder-for-hire charge against Baskin. The announcement has come with mixed feelings, with many people being excited to see more Tiger King content and other feelings that the story has been overplayed. What do you guys think? Are you excited to see more of the world of big cats?
Honestly, Haley, I am pretty excited. I know a lot of people are kind of run down with Tiger King, but the production value on that show looks amazing, and of course, I love Kate McKinnon. I don't know about you, Jess. What are your thoughts?
I have never seen this show before, but after hearing what she has to say, I'm very excited to watch it and see what's happening. Haley?
So personally, I think that Tiger King is a little played out at this time, but my love for Kate McKinnon conquers all, and I definitely will be watching, particularly for her. She has Carol Baskin down. She has all her cadences and her vocal tones down, so I am super excited to be watching her. Well, that's all I have for this week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks so much, Haley. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working.
I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color-coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Welcome back to Hashtag That. Speaking of hashtags, Hashtag Book Talk is a sub-community on TikTok where members can upload recommendations and reviews for all of their favorite reads. Here's Krista to tell us more about it.
Hey Hashtag, it's Krista, and if you don't already know about the platform TikTok, then you must be living under a rock. But for those of you who do know, it is a platform with creators and influencers to share abundance of things such as food recipes, dances, and more. But did you know about this other community on TikTok known as Book Talk? Book Talk is a community full of avid readers like myself to discuss book recommendations, upcoming books, and to communicate with authors of certain series. Book Talk has gotten so big that even stores such as Barnes & Noble have an entire section of their store dedicated to Book Talk recommendations. Many young authors have been able to use TikTok to help get their stories out there. Not only that, but they help share the entire process of writing their story. They talk about the plot, the characters, the development, all the way through the publishing process until it finally is published. One of my favorite aspects about the Book Talk community are the people that take initiative and dress up like the characters themselves. They really embody these characters. It is insane how people are completely able to transform themselves from what they normally look like into a character from a book, and that is exactly how I picture that character to look in the book. Other than just being a Book Talk community in general, there are so many subcultures regarding different series and genres. So you have like a dystopian community, you have a romance community, and you even have communities dedicated to like the Hunger Games or the Harry Potter, which I am all over because that tends to be my entire algorithm other than Book Talk. It's just amazing to see how these stories impact an entire group of people altogether. Let me just say, my favorite series right now was definitely recommended to me from Book Talk, and I just have to share it with you. This book series has been trending on TikTok, I believe, for like over a year now. This series is known as A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is a fantasy romance series, and I highly recommend it. That's all I have for you guys today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Now it's time for a little game of hashtag Guess That Tweet. Audrey Scafati is here to tell us all we need to know about this new segment.
All right, guys, so essentially, this is what's going to happen. I am going to read you guys a tweet, but I'm not going to tell you who tweeted it. Then I'm going to give you some hints on who that tweeter may be, maybe some multiple choice, and then we'll go from there. Shall we get started?
Sounds great.
Our first tweet. Why did I wake up and immediately write a song for @Ariana Grande in the shower? Who tweeted this? Dove Cameron or Miley Cyrus?
Miley Cyrus.
I would go with Miley Cyrus too.
Tell me why you think that.
They're friends. They've worked together. I know with Miley Cyrus's Happy Hippie Foundation, Ariana is definitely a big supporter of that. So I wonder if it was Miley Cyrus.
Yeah. Looks like we're right.
It looks like
you are in fact both correct. It was Miley Cyrus. All right. Second one. A rat is a rat. Who tweeted this? Nicki Minaj or Rihanna?
Nicki Minaj.
For sure, Nicki Minaj. I can just hear that.
Yeah.
All right, well, you guys are incorrect. It is Rihanna who tweeted that.
Oh.
But like, go Rihanna though, for like totally, like being pregnant, having like announcing her pregnancy. You guys just talked about that.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty cool. But I wonder what, like we can see the dates on it. Like I wonder what prompted her to say a rap
who
is
it's
a rap.
about.
Yeah.
Is my question.
To get indirected by Rihanna, I feel like that has to be a pretty low point in one's life.
Honestly, I would be honored.
All right, so our third tweet. At Harry Styles, fancy going ballroom dancing? Which member of One Direction tweeted this? Niall, Louis, Liam, or Zayn?
Louis for sure. They have
My
a
heart-
bromance.
My heart says Louis.
Yeah.
You guys are right. We all know that Louis and Harry have that very special friendship. They were always seen together, always like, you know, tweeting each other like this. I think it's so funny to see vintage tweets from like celebrities before they were like monitored.
Right.
Like I just feel like it's funny because now if you look at Louis or more Harry's, like his tweets are so filtered and intentional and like only for tour dates. So
yeah.
Absolutely. My favorite thing is when you can tell which tweets are from their managers and which ones are from the actual celebrity themselves.
Exactly.
Because there's usually a big difference.
There definitely is. All right, this one is my favorite. Fourth tweet. Does anyone think global warming is a good thing? I love Lady Gaga. I think she's a really interesting artist. Which famous female singer tweeted this? To give you a hint, she was at her peak in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Late 90s, early 2000s. My initial thought is Britney, but I don't know if that's right.
All right.
Yeah,
Jess, any thoughts?
I'm going to go with Britney.
You guys are correct.
Wow.
It is, in fact, our Queen Britney Spears. I just love her social media because she is always so, like what are you going to get from Miss Britney Spears? Are you going to get an inspirational quote? Are you going to get a tweet about global warming and Lady Gaga? Like, who the heck knows?
She's crazy.
It's always
In
a
a good way.
toss-up.
All right, fifth tweet. This is crazy. You guys with your tweets and requests just got a small town kid from Stratford-on-Ellen. My mom is in shock. Haha, thank you. Which Canadian singer tweeted this? Justin Bieber or Shawn Mendes?
I'm going to go with Shawn Mendes.
Shawn Mendes, yeah.
All right, y'all are wrong.
Really?
Yeah, it is Justin Bieber. That was tweeted in 2009.
Wow.
So just to gauge of timeline, that does make sense for a wee Justin Bieber rising to fame. But yeah, go Justin Bieber. He's really popping off with all of those nominations and awards. Anyways, I'm gonna read our final tweet of the day. It is at Harry Styles. I blame you. Who tweeted this? Ellen DeGeneres or Ed Sheeran?
I'm going to say Ellen.
I'm going to go with Ed Sheeran.
Grace, you are correct. It is in fact Ed Sheeran. Well, that's all we have for our little tweet game today. It's so much fun playing with you guys, and I'm going to leave it to you for celeb celebrations.
Great. Thank you so much, Audrey.
Thank you.
It's time to shout out some celebrity birthdays. All of us here at Hashtag want to wish a very happy 57th birthday to comedian Chris Rock.
We also want to wish a happy birthday to actor Ashton Kutcher. From all of us to you, we hope it was one to remember.
That's all we have this week for Hashtag That.
Make sure to follow us on our social media accounts and download the Q30 app on the App Store to stay up to date.
I'm Grace Doyle.
And I'm Jess BRIJ-RAJ. We'll see you again next week.